Season's greetings and welcome to episode 203. That's right, over 238 consecutive weeks of episodes of Two Balls and a Mic. We are back with some fresh, hot out the pantry news for San Diego soccer. We have the San Diego FC's first signing, Duran Ferri, the youngster, the wonderkind, the local Duran Ferri, former San Diego Loyal, make the transition over into the MLS. What's going to have... Where's his teammates going to be? What's going to happen with the Right to Dream Academy? Is he going to be claimed as a Right to Dream product? We're going to go ahead and get into all of that. The closed-minded Open Cup news came. MLS 2 teams will move forward instead of their MLS parent teams. Pensatividades from the MLS.
Yep.
All for the good sakes of money. The NWSL draft happened this past week, and there was a lot of tumultuous moves.
Not the main draft, but for
Expansion draft.
There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And then there was some controversial awards show that we're going to be having. We're going to be having an awards show coming up next week, next episode. Some of the categories have been out there. Some of the categories have been voted on. Some of the people have spoken on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow everything. By the way, this is the first day, first test run on a new platform.
Shout out to our ex-viewers.
To our ex-viewers? Oh, yeah, there's people on Twitter. I'm still calling it Twitter. I don't care.
Yeah.
So we're able to do that now. And you can check everything that we do over at San Diego.Futbol. Look at that.
Dude, you started a trend. You started a trend with the season's greetings.
Greetings, boys. Let's see. We got
something.
Esteban in here. Oh, what's that? New transitions for... Yeah, if you're familiar with the live streamiverse, you're familiar with what's going on here. So, shout out Ismael Chingones Los Dos. Thank you. Vamos, Josue. Jeremy with the Tis the Season's greetings.
Heck yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot of talk about it, and we're going to save kind of like our awards categories to the end.
Alan from Twitter. Yes.
Hey, Alan. And we're also going to explain some things that were kind of like mentioned to us on social media, but we're going to talk about that and kind of like just tell you why maybe some things weren't in the options because we have other plans for it. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to address it. But yeah, I mean, I don't like what's the biggest thing that's happened so far?
As far as
soccer in San Diego.
I'm like, as far as what?
We were at the soccer game yesterday, which is the only actual soccer happening
right now. San Diego Soccer's coming on top, beating Marco Fabian, the legendary Marco Fabian, Fabian. This is what we can do. Watch. This is cool. Because, you know, I've been somebody in this venture who's like, oh, we can't take a picture with Osvaldo Sanchez. I've missed my chance to take a picture with Osvaldo Sanchez.
Te valió madre.
Because
technically you're a staff.
Because I'm staff.
Because you can do it.
Yeah, he's a colleague at this point. You know, if he's injured, he's going to be coming up, and so. Let's see how well I can go ahead and execute this. Let's see if the sound comes on, probably, because it's going to be like... Beep, beep, beep. Oh, there you go. There's a sound.
Airdrop.
Airdropping to myself there, because then I can go ahead and just present this. What's that? Don't go, dude. Thank you for everybody who's joining on the experiment on Twitter. That's definitely something that, you know, why not? We're going to soon go on Instagram, too. But yeah. Marco Fabian, right there.
That man standing next to you literally scored 2 bangers against Barcelona. If you haven't, and I showed Johnny.
I told everybody about the Barcelona goals.
Yeah. So Johnny, I was eating with Johnny yesterday.
Shout out Everything San Diego.
That's right.
Nobody knows who Johnny is.
Johnny Richardson.
Rogers. Stupid.
So I was just literally like telling him, like, dude, this Marco Fabian guy, like he's known for those 2 golazos against Barcelona. And I showed him the videos, and he was like, oh shit, like. He was impressed by those goals. And yeah, I mean, you know, Marco Fabian won a gold medal in the Olympics with Mexico back in 2012.
I like how we've gone from the most important news into like the most important news for like
Marco Fabian,
8-year-old us. And again, you're part of the journey.
Yeah, I mean, as Chivas fans, we're hurting right now because America won the 14 championship, and undeniably are the best team in Mexican history as for now, right? I mean, and
Mhm.
that's all we're gonna mention in that. But this was one of our like not even childhood, like for me, adolescencia, like adolescence,
Really? How old were
teenage
you?
years. What was that? 2010.
This was 12 years ago when this happened.
Okay, so
So
I was
2011.
15,
I was already,
14,
you
15.
know, grown and out of high school. But man, like, this is exactly, see if this works. Yes, it does. Look at that. Golazo.
Cholazo.
Marco Fabian. Uh, and then I haven't shown my girl this because I told her, like, this is who this is. And I need you to kind of like pay respects a little bit for who this man is. And then this one.
Minutes after.
Minutes after.
Literally minutes.
We thought we were watching the movie Goal unfold right in front of us.
Yes.
Like, oh my God, Santiago Muñiz is real, and his name is Marco
Marco
Fabian. Obviously, as the trajectories usually show, Joe Lasso.
Dude, I mean, Chivas
His
had
career
some
was
great
derailed a
players
little
there.
bit, so much so that he's now playing against the San Diego Sockers and
Okay, granted,
Empire
this
Strikers.
guy got an MASL contract, like an MLS contract for Messi. He signed for 2 years, and he's going to get the chance to own a franchise after his contract's up. So
Mhm.
kind of like Messi, he's gonna be
Yeah.
pretty much an owner for a team.
Somebody asked Shiva, are you happy with that
No,
America one?
I'm not.
Absolutely not.
Tony's not happy either.
Season's greetings. 2 balls and a mic semifinal. Yep, we have a football league. Somehow it's probably going to be the last year we ever do that. But all right. So now moving on to, again, the biggest news piece of this week as far as what? As far as soccer in San Diego on the male side, outdoor goes. Because you had the news that Duran Ferri is the first San Diego FC, San Diego's MLS team, San Diego native, and a U.S. youth national goalkeeper, Duran Ferri, signed as the first official player
Heck yeah.
for SDFC. This news came down here December 13th. We've known who Duran is. We've known about Duran. We've met Duran. We've seen Duran grow as un chamaco. Right?
Yeah.
He's literally a boy. Like he's growing up right
Yeah,
in front of your eyes, guys.
100%.
Um,
How much
Yeah.
did you like this first signing from SDFC? You think it was key to get someone
Yeah.
that's from San Diego? Like, you see this and you're like,
San
oh, heck yeah.
Diego and obviously San Diego loyal because if you really think about it in the long scheme of things now, right? We're seeing another team in the USL dissolve, and people are being very thankful what Andrew Vasiliades did, owner and chairman of San Diego Loyal, of giving everybody pretty good heads up about, hey, enjoy this, take it in, soak it in.
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of made that last season special for this team this last season, which is why people voted on the Two Balls and a Mic award show for the Dortmund Loyal game at Snapdragon to have been that special game for them. But ultimately, like, at the end of the day, you got everything you needed from Loyal at the end. And that's the reality of things where I don't know how individuals feel about this move as far as like, well, they got the president. Well, they got some of the people in the FO in the front office. FO.
The merch people. Roger.
Some again part of the FO. Now they have one of pretty much the biggest prospect that San Diego Loyal ever
Produced.
kind of produced. No disrespect to the breaking news of Xavi going up to Monterrey, and he's going to go ahead and take on his career. He's already at a different stage and at a different position, right? So, what else? So business happened, and business went through. And look, this is a great signing. Like,
It is.
this is on
It is.
all fronts in the day and age now, in the reality of now. This is probably the best signing they could have had.
I agree to an extent. I just didn't quite like and don't mean to be pessimistic in any way, right? But I just didn't like the hype built around it. I think they could have hyped it up even more. Granted, it is the first signing, therefore you want to be able to like kind of hype it up. But if we're being completely honest, nobody knows who this kid is other than if you followed Loyal
Yeah.
during the years.
Yeah.
Like
that-
the
yeah.
average SDFC fan that did not follow Loyal is gonna say, "Who the heck is this kid? What the heck? Why is this? This is our first signing." A lot of people were expecting a big name. It was unrealistic
Yeah.
for a team that doesn't play for another year.
Yeah.
So that was unrealistic, but that was the expectations that probably the majority of San Diego FC fans had, right? So much so that this guy
We're directly now in competition with
yeah.
Fabrizio Romano. So if you have some extra shekels, I guess, just shove them this way, because I don't know who and how much they paid Fabrizio Romano to do this. Maybe there's connections and you know there's favors here and there, but
You think they paid him?
I'll ask around. You know,
Yeah,
just out of
I mean, I'm
curiosity, because I mean,
curious, too.
we've broken some news. Where's
I mean,
our?
send
All we
us-
get
send
is
us
phone
a couple
calls.
pennies, please.
Which is fine.
Welshman is saying so they grab a kid from Ford, but not Xavi. I mean, and again, Duran Ferry is a player that's supposed to be in the long run like the next goalkeeper or one of the next goalkeepers
For the U.S. men's national team. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, Jenks, you owe me a Coke. Thank you.
That was dumb. Keep going. You
I
whenever
hate
you
you.
get into
Yeah.
a finally good, like, yes, he's not taking a breath. He's not jumbling his words. You
fuck it up.
interrupt yourself.
100%. That's just how I am.
God
But
damn.
yeah. So this guy's supposed to be it. This guy's supposed to be better than Tim Howard in the future. Like this way, this guy's supposed to be your goalkeeper in a World Cup in the coming years. Xavi, on the other hand, he's a great prospect and he's been great for San Diego Loyal. And granted, he could make an MLS squad in the future. He's still 18. He's still young. Does he have the hype like the Ranferi does? No. And no disrespect to Xavi. He's a great player and he has a history and we love him and he's been one of the best
Yeah.
guests that we've had. here
Even
on this
CJ
podcast.
Fodry, the trajectory that he's on. Congratulations. You've bought a new house. He was on Instagram. He collabed with the realtor. And you could see him going through it. Cute dog. But
Look at him. He bought a house. Like that's
yeah,
sick.
like he's on his way. But again, even with CJ Fodry, who's playing in the MLS
Next.
2 MLS Next program with Austin FC, who's going to be featured in the Open Cup. We'll get to that in a bit. You know, that ceiling for Duran Ferry seems to be higher, especially how young he is and when the prime is for goalkeepers. Obviously, we've talked about this a lot. I believe it's around 30-ish, 30, 31, where they are hitting their mental and athletic prime, where they're still able to move around and do everything that they want to. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Like, at the end of the day, there's not a lot of people outside of San Diego that necessarily know this name. But for those that might not, you know, 17-year-old joins SDFC after spending last season with the USL Championship club, San Diego Loyal, a standout player at Loyal at San Diego Surf Soccer Club, the Southwestern California native from Forest Ranch, signed a professional contract with Loyal at the age of 15. Where he had a rapid ascension through the team's development. Yep, there was actually a goalkeeper in front of him, dethroned him, put himself behind Coque Vegas. During that time, Coque Vegas went down even.
And
He
stepped
still
up,
wasn't.
yeah.
He still wasn't ready yet because I do believe that's when I think they brought John Kempen for like a game.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Around that time, but you know, notably before he was in goal and made 2 crucial saves for the USA's World Cup clinching win against Guatemala in qualifying play. Great saves. Again, it's a player in development that really shows that, you know, the growth and the trajectory is there and is viable locally. So could this have happened without the presence of a former USL team here? I'm not sure. His talent would probably have worked anywhere else. Free goes on to say, I'm honored to sign with my new hometown club. To be part of San Diego soccer history helps to play for my home city is beyond the wildest dreams. This is a testament to all the hard work that he's put to get there and everything he's been working towards. Eager to contribute to the growth and the success of the club and excited for the journey ahead and future teammates, because he's all alone right now on an island to go play with him. So with that,
Yes,
you have a year and a half.
you do. He's-
What's gonna happen? Because clearly there's no even MLS Next project to go into right now for SDFC. So he needs playing time if they want him to develop, and that's gonna go into the vein of, you know, that's the young kid, the academy kid there. Is it going to be a Right to Dream,
I don't.
project?
I
In
wouldn't. I wouldn't think so. Right?
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, SDFC wins its first MLS Cup. The crowd goes wild.
Mhm.
There's going to be a parade through Chula Vista all the way to Oceans. Is the Right to Dream Twitter account going to say, congratulations to @Right to Dream product, Duran Free, and then list all of his teammates, because obviously that we Right to Dream. Is he included in that?
I would say congrats to our first ever signing.
No, yeah, but what I'm saying is that,
Dude,
would you consider him now, say in
no.
3, 4, 5, 6 years, even if he doesn't win it, or he goes on to play in Europe and he wins the Champions League, is it R2D product family member?
That's a great question, and I mean,
What do the people think? I'd love to hear what the people think.
no, let us know what you guys think. To my understanding, players that are going to be in the Right to Dream are not necessarily going to be in the first team, right?
Yeah.
So with that keeping in mind, say Duran Free is the backup goalkeeper for this SDFC team.
I would hate that.
That doesn't mean he's not going to be the starter. He's not going to be. There's absolutely no way Duran Free is going to be the starting goalkeeper for SDFC.
Damn, like that, bro.
18 by that time.
The
Tony,
youngest club.
Tony, what's the prime for a goalkeeper? Age.
Let's
Tony,
do some,
answer this
quick
question.
research.
What is the prime for a goalkeeper?
Yeah, it was like 30, bro. But like,
Exactly.
if he's a phenom.
There are players that
if
are
he's
no. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You know the goalkeeper position. Even if you're a phenom,
100%,
you need the experience.
100%.
I think
Let me
he will
cook.
not be a starter until he's maybe 22,
Let me
23. Granted, he could be the starter if the starter goalkeeper gets hurt.
Fuck. I don't speak Norwegian.
Norwegian.
No, this is gonna work. This is gonna. No, we're gonna find out together. This is a happy educational side. Yes, track my cookies, please, papi. Todos mis cookies. Llévatelos. Okay. I mean, to go, based on what you're saying, right? The youngest team and Right to Dream is very happy and content to keep us updated on their progress. Not so much now when they're out of second place for FC Nordsjælland, the Right to Dream Academy over in Norway, right? So to kind of talk about what you're saying, on Transfer Market, it lists 4 goalkeepers, 2 who are out injured. They list 4 goalkeepers for this team, right? One is 28, one is 28. Those 2 are out injured. And then Reader, who is 36. And then Andreas Gulstorfsson, right? Oh, that says that he is without a club. So right now it's only having a 20-year-old in goal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at FC Nordsjælland's last game. Because what I'm trying to just kind of prove here is they're proud of saying this is the youngest team in the world. This is the youngest team in this and this and this. If their goalkeeper that's starting right now is 20 years old, even if he's only 18, I see them having a push for Duran Free being the starting goalkeeper. Now, that's all going to depend on the financials, on the soccer ops, on the scouting, on what's going to happen. Because look, if you bring another phenom 15-year-old into the Right to Dream Academy, he just backs up Duran Free if he's ready at that point. If you go out and get yourself a goalkeeper with experience, a 35, 6, 7-year-old, Guillermo Ochoa, who loves San Diego. He loves Ben & Jerry's ice cream here in San Diego, actually. He loves Seaport Village. But if you go with that way, like, okay, like I could see Duran not necessarily being right off the gate starter, but that would be a great thing. Look at the first goalkeeper who started for San Diego Loyal, Jake Fenlinson. Like his career kind of took one way, and you kind of, in the grand scheme of things, it's something that you look over as far as like, oh, he started. Austin was on that team as well. Let's see, December 14th.
Okay, I want to go to some of the comments right now.
Yes.
saying, I think it was Jeff said, where is it? Slorina is 18, right? He's 19. He's a player that plays in the Pro League in
Slonina, yeah.
Belgium, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. He is a starter, I believe, with 15 caps. And then
Seasons.
to Johnny's comment saying, we just saw the youngest MLS goalkeeper at age 23 win the MLS Cup. Schulte? I don't know how to pronounce that. Schulte. Yeah, he was a starter. So 23, 18 though? You think at 18 he's going to be the starter, Tony? I don't know. I have a hard time believing that. And I mean,
it'd be a great story.
It would be great. And especially if he kills it. But what happens when you start him and SDFC is dead last and he's just getting 3 goals scored on average?
It's part of the project. It's part of the project.
That kills the confidence of a player. That could kill his career.
Yeah, it
really
could.
There has been careers that just get ruined because you start out too early and there's too much hype built around
He can
it.
start the first
It's happened
game.
with players like Cubo Torres. It's happened with players like
He can start the first game,
man,
and then from then,
Freddie Adu. Like that happened to him. There's so
Freddie.
much hype around younger players that they just don't live up to it, and that could be it. And I would hate for that to be Durant Free, but
well, it's
it
not
very
like
much could be
it's not like he's gonna be
if handled incorrectly.
Yeah, it's not like he's gonna be the player who's gonna come in, and playing in the Open Cup games because that's not gonna happen anymore,
It's
right?
not going to happen.
That's not
We're
gonna happen.
Get
So
into that for sure, but
that's definitely something that's not gonna.
it's gonna be
looking
interesting
forward.
to see
But
what
look,
they end up doing.
Again,
Yes.
he just started in the last cup game, right? That's why I thought of Durant. Like,
Okay.
okay, he can get some cup games in there. Andreas Gulstorfsson Pedersen,
20 years old.
20 years old, very young, getting that
Dude,
start.
he has 0 goals.
Vales verga, güey. 0 goals, 0 assists. What's wrong with you, bro? Matches 1.
No.
One more than Durant at this point, but in the MLS. But again, overall, all in all, having Durant Free and that lineage and that linkage through.
He would be the youngest goalkeeper to start in the MLS.
Cool.
Not in history, probably, but to be a starting goalkeeper, maybe.
You have you literally have a computer in front of you.
I do.
And you could probably look up.
Youngest MLS goalkeeper.
I'm so mean to you.
You are. Again,
Pero
people,
piénsale,
thank you
Think about it.
for being in the process of us learning about the MLS, and as we dive into this journey together.
Because most of you are. Don't be lying. Most of you are. And if you tell me that you're an avid fan of the MLS and always have for its young career, then that's great, and we can talk about it. Because I know some legacy MLS stuff, but it changes so much.
Yeah,
And
there
it's
we go.
just-
Slonina was the youngest goalkeeper to start at age 17 with Chicago Fire.
There you go. There's precedent.
1 game. He wasn't the starter though, was he?
There's
Let me
precedent.
know. Was he the starter?
I mean, again, like that's the level that we're talking about, right? Slonina also having Chelsea experience.
Yeah.
But look, there's so much time from there now.
13 months.
Who are the players?
14
Who's going to get
months?
surrounded with like him? And is there going to be experience?
Were you fine with the way like he was just announced, social media post?
Somebody told me, and I have to agree, and I can't unsee it. And again, here you go, nitpicking. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think so.
There's a picture. ¿Dónde está la picture?
¿Es that chiquita?
Maybe. Anyway, there's a picture where he's not lined up with the spot. Oh, there,
there
it
it
is.
is.
The one that Fabrizio Romano used, of course. Right here.
I
on the-
think
on the
that's
left
more
side.
like
Just cut
the
it out.
average person is like, okay, cool. But then once you notice it, you're like, ah,
I really like.
yeah.
Is that even a complaint? No.
No, it's not,
relax.
but
Oh, you guys want a complaint?
Oh,
It's not mine. It's not my complaint.
let
And
me
I
hear
see it on the comments everywhere from these 12 days of Christmas for STFC. The people are not happy with this necessary quote unquote contest. This is one of the ones that they had with the FC
En el día
24
5.
giveaway on the 5th day. On the 5th day of Christmas, STFC gave to me free FIFA points. Not called FIFA anymore. I mean, harmless, great, but here, no purchase necessary. And that's the thing where people are complaining about, like, what do you mean no purchase necessary? Like, you have to donate $18 and give to the cause. And look, people have likened it to what I've heard secondhand as far as
So you have
what
to
a
give
certain
$18, right?
Yeah,
To
so-
donate, and then you're part of these giveaways.
yeah, and you know, people are kind of highlighting like all it takes is a single non-refundable deposit. It's a donation. Literally, what this
So it's not a purchase.
is from what I heard from the younglings and some of the people that have fallen through the cracks. You know, back in the day, if you walked into a medical dispensary, you went up and once you got your purchase of your herbs, vitamins,
Your medicine.
you don't buy it. You donate. Here's a donation for the dispensary, this collective. So technically, it's not a purchase, it's a donation of $18 in order to put yourself in this contest. This is, again, this is what people are saying. This is the discourse. This is the dialogue that's happening right now. You can't win them all, and
can't.
you know it's fine. However, there is gonna be some new coming up in Snapdragon. This will be the last thing. SDFC for updates right now is that they're gonna have nice little sit down by the players.
Will those have shade?
No. There's-
Oh man.
Well, okay. Hey, no seas tan negative, Nancy.
I'm just asking.
Because we've heard it from Tom Penn himself, CEO. You can check out that interview. We still have it up on Two Balls and a Mic. Has not been requested to be taken down so far, so that's great.
It will never.
It will never go down.
Fuck. Even if they request.
Most of the games are going to be at night.
Yeah.
So that kind of takes care of that. 7 p.m. games,
There's
yeah, you
going
get some
to
sunset.
be a 1-day game for sure. That is.
There's
going to
be a day that's going to fuck people up. And you know what? Just hydrate. Bring a hat.
and bring
and-
sunscreen.
Sunscreen. Yeah, bring the
Sunscreen.
sunscreen.
That champagne bottle on that thing is going to be hot. Todo el hielo se va a derretir.
I like that they already put, and they know they're, you know,
They
know
already
what they're
put
doing. They
Messi?
put Messi there. They know what they're doing.
Uh,
I'm looking over at that.
there's a chance Messi's not playing by then, right?
Perhaps, you know, injuries or whatever. Looking at it right there,
Uh-huh.
I see a full supporter section.
Oh, there is.
All right, guys,
Mm.
that's the test that
Hey,
that
there's
the club is
there's
giving
the
you.
press box.
Here's El Chivo.
Ah, la
No
madre.
Tony, because
Oh.
he got banned.
Damn.
Oof.
Damn. Oof.
Oof. Y recontra oof.
Oof. Oof. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, that's very interesting. That's some of the accoutrements that are being added here at
So then
Snapdragon.
that'll just be for SDFC? They're gonna take that out for like other events like Wave and San Diego State?
That's a good question. Because these are modular and might be exclusively to SDFC because they're doing that. But again, it's like the upgrades they're going to be doing.
Hueva quitar todo eso.
I mean, the Que Hueva putting up and down a whole fucking stadium from Wave to,
I
you know,
mean,
whatever,
they don't
up
do
and
the best
down.
job anyways. Not Wave.
But either way,
Snapdragon.
these are modular seats. So I don't know if that's going to be something that will be taken out, but it's like the locker rooms,
¿Cuánto le
right?
echas que cuesta uno? A seat there.
For this game,
For that game, yeah.
for this game right here, to be part of Mystery. That's
$4,000.
Messi's history.
$4,000. $5,000. $10,000? A courtside NBA game costs about $10,000, I think.
Okay. Actually, doesn't sound too bad. You can also see in the background some of the flags here that they're going to be utilizing. And if you pay attention, there might be some cool little merch ideas that are floating around some designer's head. But
Oh, no, never mind. The average courtside seat is $2,000. So le echo que unos para ver
2,000?
courtside.
Fuck, are you
NBA.
watching the Charlotte Pelicans? Like, what's going on here? Like, is that a LA
It's the
Lakers?
it's the average.
Yeah, but again, like,
I mean, you see LaMelo for
okay.
$2,000.
So where does SDFC stand, right? So if
Or no, it's not even SDFC. It's
thought-
this
no,
match.
no.
Where does Messi
okay,
stand?
this match, right? Because
It's gonna be
these
more.
seats are not gonna be as expensive as BMO, whatever the fuck it's gonna be called in 2025, up in LAFC.
Okay.
They're not gonna be as expensive as that, but it's still a big match. But who's gonna be coming out from San Diego, like to get those seats?
Esteban agrees. Like $10K
Oh boy.
for that game, though. Oh no! Oh no! Are you okay there, buddy? I think
Go
he's okay.
síguele,
I think he's
go
okay.
síguele, I'm
Yeah,
fine.
I agree. It's gonna be expensive if Messi is going to be in attendance. You know what's gonna be hilarious though when they sell tickets at that price, and Messi doesn't get in the flight like it happened to some people this season.
I wish that upon nobody.
I know, for reals.
Because that has to be terrible. Again, in the NBA, it does happen a lot. Where
Yeah,
I
yeah.
flew for
see LeBron
75,000
James.
to see LeBron James, Augusto in Cancun, just chilling.
Yeah.
Um,
But yeah, that's gonna be very interesting. SDFC giving us a player, giving the people finally one player at least. And I mean, who better than Duran Ferry, I guess, right? Like,
I will give credit to it's up and rising as far as it's up and rising page here on Instagram, and I kind of like it. Do you see this?
I have not.
SDFC held their first practice today. It's just Duran Ferry taking to himself. Shout out. It's
great.
terrible San Diego FC memes. On the Instagram, actually, I've seen pop up a couple things. Seems like there's a couple new. I don't know if you saw this also. On le français. Seems like there's a couple of supporter groups out there that are kind of starting because there is some sort of follow it. There's tracking. Our SDFC,
Yeah.
pretty official there. And then there is also this one's actually a really cool concept. I would love to meet either of these individuals. 18th Battalion,
That's a pretty cool name.
yeah, 18th Battalion, official Star Wars inspired supporter group for the
That's pretty
SDFC,
cool.
San Diego FC. So, all right, hopefully we can, get to meet some of y'all, and maybe there's some overlap here and there. But 2 new supporter groups to get the push up. We got a little Chavo stickers here. We need Chavo stickers, ways. Like they got National City.
Oh, yeah.
We got our little Riptide over here.
Yeah,
And,
send us more stuff, guys, so we can
over
have
here.
it up here. We need
Love
new
it.
decorations as well. But while we're in the topic, right, SDFC is going to be part of MLS, and MLS kind of dropped the bombshell of people. But, I mean, before we dive into the whole Open Cup, big shout out to East Lake Soccer League over in the UPSL, where they just passed the national round of 32 and are on the round of 16 now for the national
For
playoffs.
what league? What does this mean? Please give context.
Yeah, so the UPSL, it's semi-professional soccer league. I guess you
Yeah,
can call
it's
it
in
that.
the pyramid.
It is. It is in the pyramid. So the winner of this season of the UPSL national level wise will get an invite to participate in the U.S. Open Cup.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. Pretty much whoever wins this will probably play the local next tier team in the first early rounds of the Open Cup.
Yeah, and like the local preliminaries. It's like, in dodgeball when the average Joe gyms plays at the local gym to get the preliminaries to go to the Vegas tournament. They end up winning.
Exactly.
This is kind of where they're at. But, I mean, great team. They actually played against the former champions, the
As the
team that we
Inter
do
playoffs.
commentary for, as the Internacional, your girlfriend's favorite soccer team.
I think they beat them in the semifinals 4-2.
Yeah, so pretty interesting there.
It's really interesting. If you haven't checked out the East Lake Soccer League over by the Otay Ranch Mall, it's Anwar started this league over there. He has 3
He's
fields
coaching.
essentially.
Yeah.
He's coaching this team that just entered the UPSL SoCal South Premier Division. But this league is huge over in East Lake.
Yeah.
There's so much talent on there. There's so many divisions. There's co-ed divisions. If you're
This
able
is
to
not
put
a
out
sponsored
team,
ad, by
it's
the
not
way.
a sponsored ad.
There's-
It's just a big shout out to the East Lake Soccer League because again, we give props to where they're due, and it's really cool when you're in championship. They put the Champions League theme song, and you walk out, and
Hell
like,
yeah.
it's I mean, that right there, right? Like just that's so exciting for everyone. Like a lot of
the
these guys
Champions
are
League theme,
guys
but
that
alright.
could have gone pro if they didn't mess up their knees. Like,
Yeah.
like you would have played in one of these leagues eventually.
Every time I step foot there, and it's a great facility. Like
Agüitas, ¿no? You're like,
I miss
"Damn."
it. It's crazy too, and it's really fun because the referees that are there, you'll have every level of referee. They have VAR. They literally have security cameras
it's
that kind of,
so crazy.
and they'll
It's-
stop the game,
It's getting better.
go to
and
the
better.
office. Hey, go check this out. VAR. But even the referees, right? You get what you get. However, there is some levels to it. I know the main referee there is actually a referee that does a lot of local games, and he gets called up. He's stationed locally, so he got called up for loyal games. He goes up and does Albion games as well. He also does Soccers. I saw him at the San Diego Soccers game 2 weeks ago. And then
I found out how much a referee in a MASL game make.
and then he also does the NWSL games as well. So he's actually been center for that. So, support local soccer, support your referee.
Not a lot.
Now back to your interruption. How much were they?
175 per game.
And that's for being the main guy?
That's all 3 referees make 175 a game.
Hmm.
This was by a referee on the chat because I was the cock of the Soccers yesterday.
Oh, I saw that. You
Yeah.
were, again, explain what that means because
Yeah,
there's no
yeah, so,
context.
I mean,
please.
if-
Damn it.
So essentially, my role, damn, my hell flinched. My role for the San Diego Soccers when I get to make the games, I'll be in the chat, in the Twitch channel, just kind of throwing things over to Craig and Tony at the beginning of each quarter, just sending them the questions and
How about dog merch?
dog merch. Yeah,
That's the
I mean,
first thing you said.
yeah, people
You
want the
started
dog
off with
merch.
Dog merch.
Heck yeah.
Oh my God, you're debuting this season. You're like, somebody in the comment section asking Craig and Tony, when are the Soccers going to have their dog
100%.
merch?
Yeah. When is the dog merch, Tony? People want dog merch.
That's not my department at the San Diego Soccers.
Okay. That's
yeah,
what we're
you
gonna
are a
go with.
professional Twitch mod. You are officially
Exactly.
There's actually a really good picture of you that
Oh yeah.
the boy
it looks
David
dope.
Frecker
Yep.
took of you.
Appreciate that, boy.
Shout out, a local photographer.
I texted our buddy Ryan when he was
Shout
like
out
this,
Ryan, at
because
Younger
Marco
Ryan.
Fabian got a blue card and he sat right next to him, and I texted him, "Wow, Marco Fabian doesn't know he's."
So there's
Sí,
mine.
that's a-
Hello. No, because he
Hola,
comes up
me,
and he's
me
like,
llamo Tony.
hello, my name is Tony.
¿Hay de comer hoy? Güey, ¿qué pedo, güey? Te ves bien raro.
Me dicen el roba lonches.
Vato, ¿qué pedo con esa
Somebody's asked me, how many tortas are in your backpack? Como 3. Like 3.
¿Algo que declarar? No.
You a citizen? Sí.
Oh, man. Hector's going to take this picture.
Where are you? Where probably has. Where are you heading to? What were you doing in TJ? I went to visit my dad. Anything to declare? Tacos in the stomach. Where are you going? Home. Where's home?
San Diego.
San Diego. What part of San Diego? South San Diego. And then they take like 30 minutes just scanning and making sure.
That's the conversation. If you don't
I
know context, Tony,
fucking-
context, it's at the borderlines. Just what they ask every single person, and that's literally what it is. Home,
And
where's
then
home?
obviously Hector just loves this one. Like I sometimes I
Güey,
think of
vato,
him.
te ves bien guapo en esa, güey.
Wow,
Pinche
mira nomás.
modelo, vato.
Arr.
Estás cabrón, güey. Did your girl tell you,
No,
like, hey,
no,
pose?
he's
Or
like,
how
no,
did
I
this
was-
happen?
I
How
was
does this
relaxing. I
happen?
was relaxing, dude. I was
That's just
chilling.
you relaxing.
I literally was just chilling. Literally
I don't
chilling.
buy that. No, that's a pose.
I'll show you. No, I'll show you the other pictures. You'll see that. Like I was just chilling, big chilling.
I don't buy it. I don't buy it. You guys buy that? I don't know.
Anything to declare from Mexico, sir? Que te valga verga.
Unos pollos. But yeah, so big shout out to the A's,
Abraham's like that conversation literally happened to me yesterday. Anything to declare? No.
yeah, that's literally what it is every single time. But yeah,
yeah.
big shout out to the East Lake Soccer League. Good luck in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Check them out.
So-
I think they're gonna play it at home if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
gonna be over at Mount Miguel.
check out their Instagram. They've been posting everything. They're doing great stuff for the UPSL. So definitely check that out. But with that being said, the MLS just did something pretty big, Tony.
So they announced that they were going to go ahead and send the Hounds to the U.S. Open Cup. The Lamar Hunt Open Cup is the longest running soccer tournament in the world. Surprisingly, good on you. Like that's some really good street cred for soccer in the U.S. Right? Like
Yeah.
that's a really big thing. We saw some of the biggest moments here locally with San Diego Loyal in that cup playing against the Seattle Sounders. But it was announced that moving forward, MLS will not be sending their main teams, La Mayor, over to this tournament. They will instead be sending their MLS Next teams, which are typically not, the top flight, the creme of the creme that they have available in their squads. Instead, they'll send the under 20s, under 17s, and maybe one or two veterans to try to help, especially in the beginning
Isn't that what they
stages.
already do though?
Yes. Yes, they
Like,
did. And
they
so
already do that, right? I mean, San
essentially,
Diego Loyal pretty much lost to Seattle, but it was a lot of their MLS Next players, right?
yeah, and I think we had a comment earlier on the Twitter. Somebody responded, MLS screws up again by opening their mouth. Teams could have easily put out the MLS Next teams on the field and not made a league statement. Leave it to the teams to be decided. That's basically what UK teams do for the FA Cup.
Exactly.
Literally it. Like, why try to just drive it down to US? Like, I get it. That's fine. There was actually an interesting take by your favorite, actually. I know, like, your list of favorite people is very interesting. But up there is your pal and not mine.
This guy's
but
great.
But yours.
This guy is great.
This is your guy. You represent him, and you,
No, I don't.
And
No,
you were good.
I do not.
And you can speak on your pal here, Alexis Lalas. Do big and bold things leading to the 2026 World Cup. MLS should just buy USL, a strategic acquisition for expansion of the business. Footprints that bring much of America, pro outdoor soccer under one tent. I have spoken. American flag soccer ball.
I mean, I'm not trying to defend it at all or anything. I think making that sense, I agree with the other comment that you said. Just throw the players out there and don't say anything, right?
Yeah.
But granted, the Leagues Cup has been introduced, and that's more games for a lot of these MLS teams. With added the Open Cup matches, it is a lot for players, and it is a lot for teams to have so many games, right? But again, it happens in the USL.
Yeah.
In the USL, all these players are playing all like this many amount of games, right? So, that guy sucks. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, Tony
chat.
Tony
There you go.
disagrees with you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah,
I mean,
no, I
you
mean-
have Alex Jones and Alexis Lalas in the same
I
category.
I don't even know who they are.
You know what?
This is way skin of
You gotta. I believe you on that one. Actually, good on you.
I think it is understanding doing that because, granted, like you want to not make enemies, but the MLS doesn't care about that, right? It's a lot of people just call it the money
Clearly.
grabbing thing, and clearly they don't care about it, and this is why I saw people on social media also say like they have a hard time buying into SDFC because they are a part of this league now, and they're going to kind of have to follow those rules and play that game. Granted, if SDFC is one of the teams that say, like, we disagree with this, the public announcement from SDFC saying, hey, like, we're disheartened by the news of the MLS not participating in the Open Cup. We were super excited to be part of that tournament or something like that. That would really turn heads and say, hey, this team is trying to be different, and this team is trying to go up against the league and do things the right way and stand for what they believe in, which
Yeah.
is what Loyal would probably maybe eventually have done.
Yeah, and it can like water down what the actual product is, not necessarily for the MLS Next team that will eventually have SDFC, but again, if you're going with the model of academy, and this is through history, that you're trying to have a young team, so you're gonna have a young team playing in the MLS. Where does that leave the MLS Next team that you're gonna field for the Open Cup? Like, are you gonna be playing 14-year-olds, a team of 14, 15-year-olds?
Yeah.
Like, what is that going to look like logistically? And that's going to be and that can be an opportunity in itself for growth for those players. But you know, I don't know where that necessarily is going to stand. There's talks and rumors that City SC, the UPSL kind of franchise that's going around, is going to be affiliated the Temecula side of things with the MLS Next. So we'll see developments for that because again, they will have more than likely an MLS Next project as well here in San Diego. So I don't know, man. It's an interesting strategy.
Yeah,
Cotton.
and it's nothing like the U.S. sports, and that's the problem
know
with the
what-
MLS. That's the problem with the MLS. I think at this point is it's very much U.S. and I think we all love soccer because of what it is worldwide, right? Where like the beauty of tournaments like this is where point blank Sacramento almost won it 2
Yeah.
years ago, right? Against Orlando, had they not cheated and gone to see their practices and record them and whatnot. But that's the beauty of it, where a team from the EFL wins FA Cup. That's such
Mhm.
a great story, and people love to see that. And that would be a game that literally worldwide people would tune in.
Yeah,
Had that been a USL club winning the FA Cup, I saw people on social media rooting for Sacramento that had never seen a USL match,
100%.
saying, "Hey, man, like so cool. We want the underdog to win this." Like that's the beauty of it. And in my mind, with this, it's kind of MLS saying, "Damn, we're fucking scared we will lose to a USL team and show that the USL can compete with MLS level talent, which they very much can."
Yeah. And it's almost arrogant, and that I know that was a couple of articles out there that's just like, uh, why? Again, you could have just shut your mouth, thrown your academy players, your future in there, get them some really good experience, and the fun of that too, right? Like it's interesting because we've known and know players as well now. Like some of these players' highlights is playing these big games, is playing against
Mhm.
these historical teams, is playing against sometimes veteran players that they saw grow up, and there's just a really cool aspect of togetherness when it comes to the Open Cup and something that's structured this way, much like the FA Cup, right? Like when you see sixth tier team playing at Old Trafford for the FA Cup, it is absolutely insane. The team that just got drawn against PSG in France.
That's what I was looking
You're
for
looking at,
as
okay, keep
well.
looking at, and then
Yeah,
try it.
that's what I was trying to
Don't
do.
put the audio, but that's the beauty of it, man. It's rags to riches. It's the little guy being involved with those tournaments, and sometimes they hit him in the mouth, and you're seeing it sometimes in the Club World Cup. Historically, one of my favorite matches of all time is a Mexican league team called Necaxa.
You said not put the audio, right?
Yeah, Necaxa, who beat Manchester United in the Club World Cup, and these are Fergie boys, the '92 boys, and they stuck it to them and they beat them, and that's
Here it is.
let's see, yeah. So this is the reaction that they had here,
Just getting PSG in the French Cup, and
and
this
they're
is a sixth
waiting.
division side.
Yeah, so they're waiting in a cafeteria, elementary school cafeteria, and it's fine. And as soon as they get the fact that they're playing against PSG,
They're not scared. They're excited. They're gonna play against Mbappe, Neymar, Dembele against
Neymar's not there anymore. What?
not Neymar. Fuck. Mbappe, Hakimi, Dembele.
Everybody's
Messi.
dreaming. I can play Hakim. Oh, David Beckham. Oh, Ronaldinho. Oh, we'll play against
No, but the
PSG
fact that you're
fucking-
going to play against this team is
Yeah, like
huge for
and that's the
them.
magic of it. That's the magic of it, and that's a magic that can potentially now be really stripped away and taken away because now it's just a matter of it's just another tournament. Is this going to be in the direction of a pro rel system? I don't know, man. Like it's just not good. It's not a good look. It didn't need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a bigger plan other than just pettiness at this point from the MLS? I don't know, and we'll see it unfold here locally as a team. It's going to be interesting to see how SDFC navigates this because, like I said, this is a new landscape of what they want to do, and they're coming into these rules, right? It's not like you're trying to retroactively fit old the old ways into the new ways, and you've been doing something a certain way for 10 years, and I mean, again, their playoffs keep messing around, they keep messing up. Who knows if this is going to be the style in 2025? There's new divisions, I don't know, conferences, and things get realigned. If everything's alphabetical, all the teams that start with the letter A through D on the same group, or anything can happen from here in 2026. They're trying. They're trying.
Anything
They're
can
trying.
happen in the MLS.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, not everyone. I don't know a single person maybe that agrees with MLS
So look, I
announcing
mean,
all this.
Welshman here says SCFC won't have a young team. They are going to import players. Look at Wrexham. Yes, I think that's a different situation where that's a Wrexham, a team that's historically been there, that's been established. And what do you do to a team that's already been there? You just inject that money, that talent, the people coming in,
A show on Hulu.
and then you put the talent that was already there on a different platform, and then everybody comes up, and now you have a good competitive team. But this is the Right to Dream Academy. The model of academy soccer throughout the world is that you have a young team, and not saying that it's going to be just 17 through 20-year-olds on that field at all times. No, you're going to have experience. Looking at this, yeah, it'd be cool if Josh Yarrow came back to San Diego. Um, but you also have to have that balance, and SDFC is trying to do something new. And again, a lot of my hesitation to see this team really develop comes from that. It's just knowing what the academy system looks like. It's difficult. It's slow. Doesn't
Requires patience
and it doesn't always
and years.
translate to championships.
No.
And again, like I harped pretty hard last time on championships. For me, if I was to separate myself as far as not being able to be biased in any way and be a little bit biased, that's the only thing I care for. And I'm not saying that's the only thing everybody should care for, because everybody has their things. If what they care for is the development of local talent and seeing younglings come up from your barrio and you know, from City Heights or from Ramona, from Santee, and that's our guy, like much like Duran Faria is like, yeah, let's go. I think that's great. That's the way you enjoy the game. But for me personally, I can give everything up. You thought I was going somewhere else. Give everything up for a San Diego top flight team to have a championship. That is including San Diego Wave, which was really close. And I think that's what we're going to go ahead and head into right now. Because again, look, these are things that are actively happening now. SDFC is doing this. We've been reaching out. We've actually reached out to the club to get word with Duran Faria. He's not available there's no meet availability for Duran Faria right now, but we are trying to get, in contact with the club in that way. We're also going to start building and contacting to get some of the FC Northland Right to Dream individuals on, because again, we want to make sure that we stay on top of what the development is going to be for the play style, the tactics, the X's and O's of what eventually will become the first team for SDFC. So much to wait for. Twiddling thumbs. There's a lot to look forward to, but other than that,
that's what we have for the male side, at least, because we had some interaction and some things happening over in the NWSL with the expansion draft, right? And before we dive into all that, big shout out to Kaylin Sheridan. I think I'm sharing it right there. On her wedding, and then Taylor Korniak on getting engaged. So big shout out to them.
Taylor Korniak. And again, this is literally the off-season news that is happening on the official San Diego Wave page. So that's enough. I don't know. Relax yourself, Chiva.
Let me shout out to them. Like, I mean, that's cool.
But again, this is something that could have been mentioned the sandwich. Anyway, the funny quote that Korniak had was actually sorry for everybody who bought a Korniak jersey.
Oh.
Which is a very interesting dynamic. Like,
yeah,
there's other than people like changing their name to something else or just shortening it, or like Depay not wanting Depay and wanting Memphis on it, like some things like that. Like, name changes in soccer are interesting thing that seems to be a little bit more common on the NWSL side. But with any case, the NWSL expansion draft was happening, and so with that, the news of essentially what was about to start, because San Diego Wave had announced that they had reached an agreement with Utah for $60K and Rachel Hill.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
No.
There's a lot of things that happened. I believe the Rachel Hill trade was exactly, the biggest one was Sierra Angie, right? But Rachel Hill went over to the Bay team.
I'm trying to go chronologically. Okay, so yes, Rachel Hill went to Bay FC.
Yeah, Bay FC. That's the name of it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly for how much? I can't remember how much allocation money that was. It. I think it might have been the 60,000.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel Hill essentially was a huge part of the rotation thing, essentially becoming a starter. For some of the matches. So I think it's a player that could easily be
veteran presence in the midfield, and she's really special as far as what Casey Stoney was having her do. She was having a resurgence in her career and was really an integral part for a lot of the time, because while you're kind of taking care of either Jaden Shaw in the middle or / on the left side and Morgan, you kind of overlook what Rachel Hill was doing on the right side at times, just kind of managing that with whoever the defender of the time was. Usually it's Kristen Westphal, but Kaylee Reel was the first one that went over to the Utah Royals.
Yes.
They got allocation money and expansion protection. And I do believe we were the ones that also threw up on our socials the list of players that were going to be protected moving into the NWSL expansion draft. Two teams that are coming up, Bay FC, as we were mentioning, and Utah. These were the list of protected players. Interesting list here for SD Wave. Amira Ali, Danielle Calaprico, Abby Dahlkemper, Naomi Girma, Taylor Korniak, which is soon going to change, Krista McNabb, Alex Morgan, Jaden Shaw, and Kaylin Sheridan. So I would assume they protect as many. They have slots for protection, and they only have a certain amount of slots. Therefore, you have to be strategic about this, right? Let me give you the list of unprotected players. Belle Breedy, gone.
Yeah.
Lauren Brisky, Kira Carusa, Giovanna DeMarco, Maggie Daughtry Howard, Sierra Engie, gone, came back, safe. Rachel Hill, Gonzo, Sophia Jakobsen, who takes an international spot. Carly Telford, playing rights. She actually commented on the post. I didn't know I could still be traded. She retired.
Yeah.
She retired. Kelsey Turnbow and Shay Yanez. All right. So we've been going back and forth as far as what you think, because there are players here that you're like.
So the biggest thing that happened was, and you saw Casey Stoney and the GM for Wave out on Twitter just kind of saying where there has to be better ways to do this. There has to be different thing, and this is just what they've been doing.
Correct, and this is for future contributor here, current contributor Abraham Zepeda. 8 slots. When someone gets picked, you get to add someone to your list. So that's kind of what that is as far as a give and take.
And I
in the
think
quote fairness.
I want to think
Thank you,
Wave didn't think Sierra Engie would get selected.
But that's the thing you risk, and again, as you said, Casey was very vocal about hating this entire NWSL expansion draft process, absolutely loathing it.
And granted, it's interesting because Wave deleted all those posts about the thank you, Sierra Engie.
Well, yeah, because she's back.
She's back, but
She
all
almost
that
like she
could
never
have
left.
been avoided, right? But eventually, they ended up
How?
trading for Houston.
You said how it could have been avoided.
You could have protected Sierra.
Okay.
If she
Perfect.
was such an important piece to your team that you wanted for the future, because she was a rookie last season and she was one hell of a player when you had her because she can play in that defensive mid, she can play in the center back role. Like she has that versatility that you want in a player. You should have protected her. So thank you, Abraham. They added Sophia Jakobsen after Hill got selected. So essentially they had to trade.
Okay, so again, you're saying again, like, oh, they should have protected. They wasted this. Who do you replace in the protected players for Sierra Engie?
Amir Ali, a player who has not managed to stay healthy all season.
But has had more of an impact when she's being used.
Last season, how many goals did she score? 2, 3 as a
Not a
forward,
lot.
where
There was
Sierra
injury.
Engie scored one as a defensive mid, more defensive-minded player.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one. Sophia Jakobsen is back in there, so that list is kind of interesting, and it's going to be fluctuating throughout because again, there's still moves happening. There was another move as well with San Diego Wave acquiring Elise Bennett from the Utah Royals. This is to add for the replacement for Rachel Hill, adding some firepower. She was announced today for the club that she had been acquired. Utah will receive $40,000 in allocation money. So she's going to be welcomed here. That's what GM Molly Downtain for the SD Wave said. She's a young and dynamic player that is a threat in an attacking third and is an important addition to the team as we continue to build to the 2024 season. So a lot of players who contributed to the success of Wave last year winning the Supporters Shield, so it was a successful team, is getting broken up in important places. And, that's going to be interesting to just kind of see how that develops as time goes on here.
Yeah, and I mean, there was also an article by the Equalizer, right, where even Casey Stoney shared it, saying everyone hates the NWSL expansion draft. Will the league find a better solution before 2026?
Show that.
Okay, here we go. But yeah, so essentially, nobody was a fan of this expansion draft, and people were speaking out about it when it came to even the GM for Utah Royals said, get rid of it as a comment of how to even make it better.
How do you just the Utah Royals?
Did we?
I don't know how your brain works, but it's fine. I'm glad it works.
Wait, ¿qué gacho eres conmigo?
Are you
güey?
sharing it? Whoa, down.
I'm sharing it. Sharing it.
Yeah. So everybody hates
Jeff
the Andrews
Kassouf.
expansion draft.
So yeah, I mean, people are not a fan of it, and
You mind leaving it on the title so we can actually have a chance to read it, please? Everyone hates the end of it. So expansion draft, will the league find a better solution before 2026? Even though you already read it, thank you. We're learning. We're learning. And look, I like that I could just do this. De la verga. ¿Qué onda? De la verga.
Ponlo otra vez, a ver. Nah, vete a la-
Oh, put Chiva on there. Chiva.
Okay, we're learning with this new way of going, but thank you everyone who's been watching on Twitter. But yeah,
Dan, you do.
people
Fuck
were
for-
not a fan of this, and I mean it's so confusing even with the MLS, right? How trades have to happen, and there's a salary cap and everything. And yeah, granted, everywhere else in the world, that's like there's some sort of way that works that way, but can it be so easy? Like, hey, like we're gonna pay you this much money for this player.
Yeah, and even Alex Morgan commented here on this one: the NWSL expansion draft should not exist. Period. If you reach a free agency and choose a team that you want to be with for that you deserve to opt through and not torture watching it's really torture watching the expansion draft. Also, she did come and do a South Bay event, so shout out. We actually called out Alex Morgan for not doing a lot of South Bay events, and she did the South Bay event. So shout out to you, Señorita Alex Morgan. But yeah, so the players are commenting. The players are having their input in there. The NWSL is really expanding here. They just had their biggest salary for Maria Sanchez, who plays for the Houston Dash, with $1.5 million. So again, just to give context to what the dollar amount is between the NWSL Top Flight and everybody else in the world.
I mean, there's big rumors also. Big shout out to Meg over in Twitter, just saying sources are indicating that free agents Rose Lavelle and Emily Sonnet are in talks with Gotham FC, current champions. So
Oh, I hear it a good game at Snapdragon.
they had a great game on Snapdragon.
Interesting how that wasn't in the best matches because
Oh.
nobody else nominated them. Obviously, this was
Yeah.
nominations through y'all. So y'all
Super
should've-
simple to send us a message like other people did and tell us, hey, this should be
That's how those were established. And
This should be
we'll get into it.
on there. And it's going to have a chance, guys. We're going to get into it for sure.
Did you all see the premium prices for SDFC premium tickets? It's wild. Yes, we did, and we touched on it a little bit. Did we?
Did they have the prices?
Yeah, they do. I thought we did. Which is the same venue that you can
10,000.
see.
Yeah, they're going to be 10,000.
10,000. Which is going to be the same venue as the best in the world on the other side of the ball with San Diego Wave. Interesting, just kind of the dynamic of that. Moving forward, somebody that can definitely be used in San Diego Wave is a local product, Mia Official, who's having the time of her life. So let's just check in on what Mia Official is doing at this point.
Come in.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Whereabouts are you from?
San Diego, California.
San Diego, California.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
What's your star sign?
Taurus.
Okay. We can work
Okay.
with that.
The best sign.
Well, let's talk TikTok. That's why you're here. Can you swag bounce?
Swag bounce. I haven't heard of that, honestly.
You know what swag
You
bounce
said
is?
you're 22 and a Taurus, though.
No?
I'm
Joey.
pretty active on TikTok. I know all the
I don't know what that
trends.
You
is.
never swag bounced.
Swag bounce.
Well, we'll see if the other interviewees have swag bounced.
We have Capricorn coming in later.
Good luck with that.
Don't like the competition then?
I'm competitive. You have to be in this environment.
It's quite wise words.
I appreciate that. I learned from my sister.
Would your
Connect with
sister
people.
be open to coming into?
Hi.
So that's what Be Official's doing. over on the other side of the pond, scoring goals, being involved. Chelsea having a great victory today. That's really cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
that's cool.
That was on the official Chelsea page. So it's literally
the
whenever I hear
biggest
San
issue
Diego,
that you
whenever I
might
hear
have
that,
right now,
it
whether it
gives
be
me a twinkle in the
realignment,
eye.
NIL
I
transfer
just
portal,
hear that right there.
and what would
Huh?
your plan maybe
You
be
can't hear
to
that?
try to solve it?
I'm
I think
playing
they're
that
all.
video. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Sorry,
todo, ¿qué,
guys.
compa?
No, I couldn't hear because I was on the left side because you're wearing
that's
two,
it. Yeah, yeah.
and it's on
yeah.
stereo, not mono.
Gotcha.
Like how I explained that?
I do.
I do.
I do.
Not you did.
Which is what Taylor Korniak will say.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we have as far as the NWSL. Things are kind of developing. Speaking of the NWSL and things that we're developing in terms of what's going to be happening for our next episode is the Two Balls and a Mic award show. And so,
Which I kind of got some shit for.
yeah, so you were in charge of that. Like you were 100% in charge of
Yeah.
putting the things
Uh-huh.
together and getting all the people who nominated the events. Because again, we mentioned it. Hey, send us this, send us that. Some of the
And
categories.
people DM'd us.
And people DM'd
nominated
and they
people,
got on the ballot.
and we told people to do that, and some people listened, which is okay. Some people didn't, and that's also fine. But granted, I did mention there to be 3 ways you can vote. All the deadline for all this is going to be by Wednesday, which the next way of voting will open up tonight/tomorrow morning.
Mhm.
So the first one was the Instagram story polls, and those are already closed. We have the results for that, and the categories were on there, right? Granted, there's only 4 categories, 4 things that Instagram and Twitter let you put as options
Mhm.
on polls. So I couldn't do one post and then another with different people, right? So
Sounds like you're making excuses here.
no, I'm just defending myself because
Okay.
people came after me, and this
Okay.
is the time I get to do this because it's my show and I get to do it.
Yeah.
So the categories are Player of the Year. The nominees are set, which is going to be Evan Conway, Naomi Girma, Ronaldo Damus, and Jaden Shaw.
Ronaldo
All-
Damas, who shared it. Interesting. Some people
He
are
did.
sharing these. It's,
Yeah,
it's really
so-
interesting.
Granted, Adrian Perez was a shout where he had a better season than Evan Conway. Yes, again, yes, that's fine. But the nominations were for Evan Conway. That's why they were there. But right now on the lead is Naomi Girma. The second wave of voting is going to be on Twitter, which is already up, and final results are
A
on
lot
there
of
as well.
votes.
A lot of votes. So it's going to be hard to kind of match that. But Coach of the Year, the nominees were Casey Stoney, Nate Miller, Keith Miller, San Diego Inter. Shout out, bringing San Diego team a championship.
The only coach on that list to bring a championship.
And Phil Salvaggio is on there. Salvaggio.
And guess what?
What?
Coach Keith Miller was nominated. Coach Phil Salvaggio was nominated. Coach Casey Stoney was nominated. Coach Nate Miller was nominated. Guess who was not nominated?
The Albion coach,
Not just the Albion coach,
the NISA League Coach of the Year,
the NISA League,
Diego Gomez.
the NISA League Team of Coach of the Year, Diego Gomez, was not nominated by anybody. So had that nomination come through, had people actually been listening who wanted to nominate Coach of the Year for the NISA League, Albion's own Diego Gomez, he would have been on the ballot. So, because ultimately, who would he have knocked out? Probably Phil Salvaggio.
Or Keith Miller,
or maybe, because guess what? Phil Salvaggio was the MASL Coach of the Year last year.
Keith Miller got more nominations than Phil Salvaggio. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So,
So, I mean, shout out to his players for nominating him. Shout out to as the Inter, your girlfriend's favorite soccer team. But, I mean, yeah. So, Albion, you came at us and supporters of Albion. Yeah, that's fine. He probably should have been nominated by you guys. But we had no one in the DMs. Hector didn't nominate him. And I know Hector watches our videos and our episodes, but
no, too
that
close.
could have been done. But again, these are the nominees, and I already expressed my frustrations about Albion on my personal, as we do now, share our opinions on our personal Twitter handles. But yeah, those are the nominees for Coach of the Year. Right now on the lead is Casey Stoney. San Diego native.
Which Alan is saying the Shield is in a championship. It's a sort of championship. It's a sort of championship. It's not a championship. Now, if
Yeah.
see, because it's within the same competition, this is how I see it, right? If it's the FA Cup, that's something separate. If it's the Premier League, that's something separate. It's not like the FA Cup is within the Premier League, right? This gives you access. It doesn't
Who was the best team of the NWSL?
Gotham FC. The winners and the champions.
You asked
of
Casey
the
Stoney, she's
NWSL.
going to see San Diego Wave
Yeah,
because they won the
100%.
Shield.
100%. 100%.
You ask someone else, they're going to say, if
Did,
you ask
did they
someone
go
in-
all the way?
If
When-
you ask, okay, hear this. If you ask someone from England, hey, look up
like
who,
this.
who was the best team in the NWSL. They're gonna look up. Oh, who was top of the table in the NWSL? San Diego Wave. Oh, they're the best team. They ended at top of the table.
So the official NWSL source says, and I like also what Michael Blanco says, it's not the Big C championship. And this is not to knock any of the achievement of what the San Diego Wave did with being awarded and winning the Supporter Shield. Since the NWSL's inaugural season in 2013, the league has awarded the NWSL Shield to the team with the best record on the regular season. This season,
Alan said regular season champion. You hate that because he got it.
no, it's just no. There's no such thing.
It is.
I guess a regular season champion. Give me another.
Okay.
Give me
All
another.
this is irrelevant because Casey Stoney's still
Irrelevant?
big.
She's
has a
winning.
big lead.
She's winning in the
172
awards.
votes on Twitter.
great. It's
The
fantastic.
next category was San Diego Native Player of the Year. There were some also other shouts, but they were nominated. Brandon Vasquez, Mia Fisher, Christina Berkenrow, who had a great season, and Milan Nilowski. Those were the nominees. Goalkeeper of the Year, Kaylin Sheridan, Coque Vegas, Boris Pardo. Was there room for the Albion goalkeeper? What's his name? The Albion goalkeeper?
Roach.
Roach. Absolutely. Were there any nominations, Tony, in the DMs?
Not a single one, sir.
Not a single one.
Not a single one.
Not a single one. Fan of the Year. Nominees were Nick Duffy, Wave FC Greedy, Papi Chavo, and Paul Naku.
I don't like
Big-
pinning these guys against each other. I'm not gonna lie.
It's all for fun. I mean, big shout out to Cowboy. He
Hopefully.
was in the nominees, and he is going to be an option in the
So far for Cowboy.
next round of voting, which is going to be a Google form that's going to be sent out on the link. So he is on there. Some of the other categories, again, Twitter only lets you put 4 categories on here. But Cowboy was one of the nominees. It's just that these other 4 nominees got more nominations. Supporter Group of the Year, Locos, the Chavos, the Sirens, y los Brujos. Shout out to NWSL Twitter and Wave Twitter because you guys got on this Twitter poll.
So it was really interesting to see like the reflection of our followers and how they respond because we got a lot of responses on both Instagram and Twitter. The responses from Instagram weren't necessarily congruent or parallel to the ones that were on Twitter. Also, to track back a little bit, yes, Abraham, North Carolina won the Challenge Cup. The Challenge Cup is indeed a different tournament, so that I would count the Challenge Cup as a title, as a championship. But yeah, so essentially, what was the category?
Supporter Group
Supporter
of the Year.
group. Yeah, that's fun. It's interesting. There's a lot of differences with the Sirens and how they interact with social media and how they're active with it. And again, a lot of people shared this. Ronaldo Damas, Coach Keith Miller. I think Coque also shared it.
Yes, he
Coque
did.
shared it. So, some votes are coming in. There's Coque. They're going to vote for his guy. What is it for? Quién sabe? They don't know. I know Ronaldo Damas has no idea what the fuck is going on. He's just like,
Sharing it.
nominated?
Sick.
Excellent.
Sign me up. What do I win?
Dope.
The other category we had was Breakout Player of the Year, essentially kind of like the Young Player Award, which we had Duran Ferree, Xavi, and Melanie Barcenas, which granted are probably the best 3 youngsters. I easily could have put Jaden Shaw, but she was in the nominations for Player of the Year. You have Club Fan Event of the Year. This is a fun one because there were more events that are going to be on the Google form as well. But we have the SDFC Crest Reveal. We have the Loyal El Smith Watch Party, which
The
based on the
Monterey
script
one?
was the Monterey one, where
Okay.
Xavi scored the brace to win it. We have the SDFC Street Foot, which was a great one. And then we have the SD Wave Playoff Party, which was a huge one that a lot of people ended up showing up for.
Yeah.
This was the most... Oh, go ahead. Yes.
No, just there's going to be categories that, again, haven't been mentioned. We're also going to give, as a collective, just awards to events covered because we do coverage. We've done every single event here in San Diego, soccer-wise, and covered it as much as we can. And, some are better than others, and we'll give those awards directly from us. Those won't be voted on.
Yeah. This was the most controversial one. Snapdragon Match of the Year.
Which is exactly what. Yeah, okay.
So we have Man U versus Wrexham.
Mhm.
The U.S. men's national team versus Panama for the
Okay.
Gold Cup semifinal.
That was a
San
good
Diego
game.
Loyal versus Borussia Dortmund. And we have the
Mhm.
friendly Mexico versus Cameroon, who was a party, and it was also pretty packed for a Mexico game.
I will refer to the people who are asking for the snub of the NWSL Championship to my previous comment and just say, wait, it's in the plans.
Mhm.
Something's coming. It's fine. And here's the thing about this. Here's the fucking thing about this. This is cool. I love it, but it's so dumb. Like the fact that people are getting upset because
They're not in
they're
the,
not nominated.
in the
They're
Two Balls
people
and a
aren't-
Mic End of the Year awards.
Like, let me actually see if I can. I mean, I can. No, I can. What it looked like the last time we did this.
with the little trophies.
Yeah, I mean, not even that. It's just the production of it was.
It was 2020. 3 years later.
Look at that. Look at that.
Con las manitas, güey. No.
Fantasy Rookie of the Year. Oh man.
Oh,
We're doing football. Oh man. Oh, because we did. Yes, because we did. Let's see. Oh, because we gave the
Golazo,
Fusca
our
Awards.
Puskas Award.
We gave the Fusca Awards.
Oh,
What was this? Pandemic Tournament of the Year? Why is Eden Hazard there? Let's find out.
The
oh
most
man.
inspirational story of our life. So there's actually a couple of stories here. I was a little shocked because
The
I was
little
just
trophy. Did you
scurrying
take a
and
picture of that?
we were
I don't know
able to
how
get
I
to
made
the
that, man.
screen. Want to let them know what the three
Yeah, let them know,
nominees
Chua.
are?
Wow. Alex Smith,
No soccer
Ron
in
Rivera,
this.
and Khabib in the category. Where's the soccer guys? What's going on here? Football? I did it in memoriam. What's wrong with me?
Again, this is all for our own entertainment as well. But yeah, we want to recognize all these events too and all these people.
I'm really glad that it started a conversation. I'm really glad people are caring.
Yes,
People care.
yes.
You know what? Hey, I was hit up. Somebody hit us up and was like, "Oh, it's very telling that Jackie Gutierrez from Women Kickballs is not in the Best Journalist of the Year award." And I didn't tell you this. I actually went in on my personal DM and said, "Hey, look, this is actually people who are based in San Diego. Jackie from Women Kickballs does
Big
fantastic,
shout out.
amazing
Big
work
shout out, yes.
on the local and national event, national platform with her independent Women Kickballs, but she's not local in the sense that she doesn't.
And
come from-
don't get us wrong, she
that
does a
doesn't
lot of coverage of San
house
Diego
herself
Waves,
here.
but
Yeah,
she's not a San Diego-based journalist.
it's an absolute insult the fact that people are voting for me and not Cesar H. Football. The fact that people are voting for me.
This was my
and
favorite
not
category,
Cesar-
Soccer Journalist of the Year. And again, these were people that were nominated. Shout out to Johnny Richardson, who was in the talks
Everything
of
San
this
Diego.
as well, Everything San Diego, but he covers everything, not just soccer, which is also a reason why Abraham Cepeda, big shout out to you, is in the running for this. Going to a lot of the soccer events here in San Diego. Emor Villa, big shout out. This man hustles and works so hard, crossing the border every single time there's going to be a game, and writes everything that has to do with San Diego soccer in Tijuana as
How
well.
did I do that?
Cesar Hernandez, based from San Diego, covering the Liga MX, covering local soccer here in San Diego, and just a great friend of ours as well. And my personal nomination, Tony Sanchez, who just recently
that
became
so
a
much.
soccer journalist here in San
I hate
Diego.
that so much.
Didn't
I
think he
didn't-
would get all this many
I
votes.
know, I didn't
And,
think.
and, al- and,
oh,
and
boy,
also,
didn't
I
think.
just
Oh, I
hoped
didn't
that people think, wow, Tony, you really nominated yourself in this.
That's
thing.
what I hated. The fact that people are gonna be like, "This motherfucker."
Has the
And, like-
ego to nominate
And not only
himself
that,
over
that's why
other
I
people.
felt the need to go and respond personally
100%.
to the whole Jackie thing. Is like
100%.
this
yes.
motherfucker.
Granted, people, it was me making this, and I nominated Tony because Tony works really hard. And granted, this is our thing. It's our business. It's our podcast. It's our thing. But Tony Sanchez, there's no denying, Tony, you are a pillar of this community when it comes to soccer journalism. And I wanted you to get recognized as well. Whether you're in the lead so far.
That's so stupid.
That just
I'm not
shows how
touching
much
any of
people
that.
love you, man. And
No,
you deserve it.
please,
You deserve it.
Please
So,
vote for Abraham. Vote for Cesar.
oh, that's sweet. But why did Tony nominate himself? It's the ego of this man. Alan, we miss you. We hope to have you maybe next week, Alan. Whether in person or
Right
on
here.
StreamYard.
Right here. Because
Uh,
I know you're connected with a lot of teams in the USL.
So we do want
And a lot of teams in the USL would love to have a loan spell for one Duran Ferry. And I know you have connections, Alan. And
so let us
maybe
know.
there's
We'll be in
something
talks. We miss you in the
because-
episodes.
there might be talks about where the destination where you can watch Duran Ferry between now and 2025. Get some important hopefully first team minutes. Maybe you will have to take a plane. Maybe not. Take a train, perhaps even a car
Oh,
on the weekends to see this man play. But this boy play,
Or
this
ride the
sir, this
bench.
teenager, or
granted,
who knows?
granted. Does he? This is going back to that, but if he gets loaned out to a USL Championship team, there's a chance he's not a starter, unless on that loan
People are
negotiation
saying-
is a thing where he needs to play this many games, which that could be in the contract. I'll be in Denver next week, but maybe the week after. Alan,
Says
you don't get
Alan.
to pick when you get to come on. All right? I'm just kidding.
I think Duran's more ready than people think he is, and so
That's great. That's great.
Interesting things.
But those are the categories we got. Again, tomorrow morning, a link will be posted on our socials with more nominees on there as well. And
Yeah.
again, we are going to be giving individual awards that we feel need the recognition as well. But yeah, I mean, I love the interest in this. I love how many people are voting. I love the interaction. I love that people are grilling us for not putting some people and for putting Tony as a journalist when he's really not. And I'm just kidding,
That's
Tony.
fine.
I'm just kidding.
Makes perfect sense.
But those are the categories. And next week,
So yeah, full disclosure, this will be this upcoming Monday. This next episode of 204 will be our awards show. It will be pre-recorded because I will be.
this is our last live show of the year.
This is our last live show of the year. Yeah, you're right.
And this is why Twitter gets
Actually?
a live stream. Because our next live show will be January 1st of 2024. That's a Monday. Because the pre-recorded show will go up on the 25th.
Isn't it 31st? Sunday's the 31st?
Sunday's the 31st.
Okay.
Monday is the 1st.
Okay.
Or maybe the 2nd will be our first
All right.
live show of the,
All right.
of the year. I don't know you do things on the 1st, Tony, but cool. Yeah, so next week it'll be a pre-record show with the awards ceremony. So that'll be posted on Monday. So thank you guys for watching this episode. Is there anything else you want to add, Tony?
Not really. Thank you guys for joining us here for this episode 203. We thank everybody who's been supporting San Diego Punto Futbol. We're going to spruce things up here. As you can tell, things are in the works. San Diego Punto Futbol is about to come up big. Thank you for everybody who's in the comments, in the chat, in the Twitter, who checked it out, shared it, and everything. Look for me tomorrow at Tuesday, 5 p.m. Soccer's overtime.
Oh, way to plug it. Is that part of your contract where you have to plug it?
I can't tell you because I'm an employee and my contract's different than yours.
Hey, Craig, that's not. Hey. That's not cool.
Season's greetings to everybody in the chat. Season's greetings to everybody who is here. If we don't see you after the holidays, if we don't interact, have a safe holiday. Have a safe reason for the season. Eat. Stay warm. I'll be in Yosemite for a week. I will be.
Wish Tony a happy birthday, December 29th.
You guys are the seasons. Happy holidays. Happy seasonings.
Happy
everything's
boys.
Estebans. Happy seasonings to everybody. You guys are the best. San
I was gonna say
Diego.
this is the last time I see you before that, but no, I'll see you when we record the next show.
Yeah, that, and we fucking work together. Seasons.
I'm busy. You're
Greetings.
not. Seasons, guys. Thank you, guys.
And then we'll do that one. And then we'll close this one. And then we'll end stream. Bye.